part of something. The Empire cannot win. It's a different kind of mission. If it goes up in flames, it will burn very brightly.
But if I'm giving up everything, I want to win. We have to. We must stand together. We will be crushed.
Resistance is absurd.
It's a weapon.
They're building a weapon.
The monster will come for us all!
Revolution is not for the saying. You're right here, and you're ready to fight!
There's a future here for those who dare.
Welcome to the rebellion.
Hello there. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hype Chamber for Andor Season 2, Episodes 7 through 9, the penultimate arc of this show. 12 episodes total. I think it's going to happen. I think we're getting the massacre tonight. Like, we have to, right? There's going to be a year time jump, and then, like, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty, and I don't know if I'm ready, man. Oh, it's going to be... It's going to be emotionally draining. Every arc kind of has been so far. Hey, Nathan, how you doing, man? Game day indeed. Like, it feels like this is the big event, you know. Now every Tuesday, this is what you've got to tune in for. You got to know what happens in Andor straight away. At least that's always been the way that it is for me. What's up, man? How's it going? What a swell part of this. God, I'm really enjoying Ben Mendelsohn coming back as Krennic. He is just chewing the scenery, like chewing it hard. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. He completely understood what this role was calling for. And it also adds like a hilarious extra context for why Tarkin wanted like absolutely nothing to do with this man in Rogue One. Like, man. This is my big question. Are we getting K2SO this week, or is it going to be in that final arc? If they add that in there, that's going to be a whole lot of ground to cover because we're also doing the Gorman massacre. Possibly Luthen is going to die tonight. I think we're going to lose like a lot of the cast tonight. I'm going to be honest. And I didn't really expect any of them to survive for very long. Luthen is one of those characters that like the minute you see him, you're like, oh, this dude's dying. There's no way this dude's making it out. And the more you think about it, the more that makes sense too, because Luthen is such a heavy hitter in the rebellion, in the formation of the rebellion, that like where the hell was he when the Battle of Yavin was going down? If he was alive, there's no way he wouldn't be in that control room, you know, right next to Dodonna, making it happen. So I'm honestly surprised that he's lived this long. As for K2SO, I feel like he might be in the final arc because that's when we're going to really focus on the rebellion as a military operation. And I feel like that's when you start hijacking KX droids and reprogramming and stuff. Like that's some military stuff, in my opinion. So that might be the final arc. But we're definitely getting like the massacre tonight. I can feel it in my bones. Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I don't want him to die because I think he's actually a really compelling character. But yes, no, I think he's gonna have not necessarily a redemption arc. He's not really going to do anything about it, but I think that he's going to have like a realization. He's going to have like a moment of clarity right before the end. An end that he's going to bring about on his own head by being complicit in all of this, but he's going to like have that moment of like, oh my God, what have I done? Boom. And then it's over. That's my prediction for Cyril. Hello there. How's it going, man? I got one. Well, we'll see. We'll see if I'm singing a different tune come about 9 p.m. my time, because that's when Bendu and I make our way through the episodes. Do you think so? Do you think that's actually because I feel like it kind of served its point to like fill in a blank, a question no one was really asking about Saul Gerrera and how he got his, what he's breathing in the mask in Rogue One. I appreciate it though. I thought it was pretty funny. Let's see. I should have the clip in here. As soon as that scene started playing out in the episode, it reminded me of that the SNL bit where what's her name? Felicity Jones hosted to promote Rogue One, and Keenan shows up dressed in like full Saul Gerrera costume, and it's like a fantastic costume too. It was really, really funny, but it jumped into my head as soon as we got that whole scene with the Rhydonium. And by the way, his monologue, that was a fire monologue, like fantastic. We are the fuel. We're the thing that explodes when there's too much friction in the air. Like, yeah, no, that if Andor is going to be remembered for anything as a show, I think monologues should be top of the list, honestly. Here we go. See if I can share this as a clip.
What are you breathing from that mask?
Wouldn't you like to know?
That immediately popped into my head during that scene, and I'm pretty sure Bo Willimon, who wrote that episode, also watched that monologue, and I think that's where he got the idea from. Like, honestly, I get it, because like, weird fact about me, I kind of appreciate the smell of gasoline too. Like, I think it smells kind of good. Like, I'm not out here like huffing at the gas station or anything crazy, but like, if I smell like a whiff of gasoline, when I'm down in the like downtown or something, it's like, it smells good. I don't know what that says about me. Maybe I'm just that much of a city slicker. Yeah, so people are talking about that. People are saying that like maybe the Ghost Crew is going to show up, because we know. Okay, so here's what we know, right? This is what is canon. What has been established is that the Gorman massacre is going to go down. Gorman massacre number 2, I should say now. Mon Mothma is going to publicly condemn Palpatine for the atrocity in the Senate. It's going to cause a kerfuffle, we'll say, and then she has to flee. Basically, she denounces the Empire and flees. And yes, the Ghost Crew are the ones that receive her and like take her to the rest of the way to Yavin Base in the episode Secret Cargo from season 3 of Star Wars Rebels. But the thing that I think is really interesting and could potentially happen in the show is that the Y-Wings that drop Mon Mothma off at the Ghost, that's Gold Squadron, baby, from A New Hope. Like, that's Dutch Vander, Gold Leader, who like flies the trench run with Luke Skywalker. And like, he's already been in Rogue One also, because they used archive footage of him to put him at the Battle of Scarif, which, by the way, was my favorite part. Like, that was such a sweet moment to actually get to see him in there again. And they made like the guy they cast to be Red 5, they made sure that he was like not very good at his job, because they had all these outtakes of Gold Leader like yelling at Luke, like, "What the hell are you doing, Red 5?" Like, there's a whole bunch of that. And so of course, like, they had to include a moment where he's like telling off this guy who has Luke's spot before him. It was so funny. But what about Dutch Vander showing up? That's what I think is more likely than getting to see Hera or hear Captain Syndulla or like actually get to see the Ghost. Just because there's a double connection. He's in that episode of Secret Cargo, so it would make that continuity work. But he's also in Rogue One, and this is the prequel to Rogue One, this show. So like that, if I had to bet on anybody from like any of that showing up in tonight to directly reference that episode of Rebels, it would be Gold Leader. It would be Dutch Vander, not Harrison Dula or anyone like that. I mean, we've got Erskine. Erskine is the glue, right? Because he's from that episode, and here he is. So it's possible. That's all I'm saying, is it is possible. We'll see. I am going to say no Vader. I would put money on no Vader, and I guess that's cheating, because I mean, like, I heard what Tony Gilroy had to say about it, and he said he wasn't interested in including Vader in the show. He doesn't want to write for Vader because he's already done it, and he found it quote unquote limiting. Which I guess I understand that. I mean, Vader does kind of have one setting, right? He's got one mode. And he did write for Vader already, right? So I hear what he's saying. Disappointing as it might be, because you always want Vader to show up, because everything always becomes more badass when that dude enters the room, That's what I'm saying. He basically confirmed he's not doing the top dogs. And that's fine, because I think that our perspective, our lens needs to be focused closer to the ground. Because the show, the whole point that he's trying to make with the show is that like the true insidious evil in the galaxy isn't like the evil space wizard with the pointy helmet. It's the regular folks just doing regular day jobs, turning the giant grinding gears of fascism. Like that's the real evil, because they don't care or they think they're doing the right thing, and like terrifying either way. And I think the point's getting across very well. Really, really fantastic commentaries and the way that everything's being like portrayed. But I feel like Vader showing up would kind of diminish that a little bit. You know, it would pull the focus away from the evil deeds that men do and be more about like the evil things that this fantasy space wizard character does. And it's like, well, yeah, but like this is relatable. You know, this is a conversation that needs to happen. We've been talking about evil space wizards since the 70s. Yeah, and I thought it was very interesting when the Gorman front said to Cyril that like maybe Palpatine has no idea that the ISB is overreaching so much and like trashing people's liberties. Maybe Palpatine is one of the good guys and this is happening under his nose, which is laughable, but really interesting that like, you know, information is so fragmented in the galaxy that no one really knows what's going on. Like most people out there living their lives have no idea what happened during Order 66. You know, they've been told one version and they really don't have a reason not to just trust that version. And it's been like a generation by now too. So it's very insidious. It's very creepy to think about how effectively Palpatine was able to completely disguise a whole chapter of history like that. Clea is a boss. Clea is a boss that I'm very worried about right now, because like she got, God, that was such a nail biter of a scene. Like maybe the most like tension filled scene so far in the show, honestly. Her like trying to get the listening device out of the piece of art, and like just like her hand is bleeding. She's doing it so hard. Like Krennic and his stupid entourage getting closer, like each piece in the gallery. Like, oh man. Not to mention the artifact itself was really, really cool. Like I love the idea that it's like this giant, like basically like a braille book. And it comes from this like, the society where like they're all about touch. Yeah, no, Clea is in the crosshairs for sure. So is Lonnie. Lonnie has been way too lucky and way too successful and given us way too much good intel. Something terrible has to happen to him at this point, which makes me really sad too, because Lonnie, like, he's a goddamn hero. You know, I know Luthen said it to him kind of as a jab in that elevator scene. You know, I need heroes like you. I need heroes, and here you are, talking about everything that he sacrificed. But honestly, he is a hero, and he's got the most stressful job in terms of all of like the embedded rebels. Like, goddamn, how does he remember to breathe during his day-to-day just like office hours, man? It would be the ultimate tragedy if he somehow survives unscathed from all of this. You know, grab some credit where he needs to like advance his position so he can be more useful, and then he's promoted to like the top brass and he's stationed on the goddamn Death Star, and like that's what happens to Lonnie. Like that would be terrible. But I wouldn't put it past Tony Gilroy to write that kind of a like it's like a really somber ending for his character too. So, oh yeah, no, like same with Luthen. First time we meet Luthen, we're like, okay, this guy's awesome. He's a badass. I wonder how he's gonna die, because like there's no way he's surviving. And Lonnie, I think, is for different reasons. Same sentiment though. You see him, you're like, oh, he's not gonna make it. Like sometimes you look at a character and you can just tell, you're like, oh, he's not. He's a 3-episode guy at most. Lonnie has surprised me. He has surpassed how I thought the ISB was going to root him out like immediately. Because that's another cool thing about this show is they don't make the Empire, especially, well, the Empire is kind of shown to be incompetent on purpose, but the ISB are pretty damn good at their jobs. And like I was worried that like, how is he going to stay a step ahead of the ISB for like a whole season of TV without them eventually looking like fools, you know, get that Agent Callus disease. But they've done a good job of making them actually competent, because they do keep getting small wins. And we're just like watching them slowly put the puzzle pieces together. But I thought that Lonnie would get like discovered by now. Like he's party gas, he's under his nose. Dedra Miro herself, like everyone in that room, you'd think like their whole job is sniffing out people like Lonnie, and there he is among them. Like, talk about the most stressful goddamn position in the whole rebellion. Right. No, yeah. The best spies, we never know their names. You know, they don't get parades. They don't sign up for parades or anything like that. But like, as a dude sitting here cheering on the goddamn Rebel Alliance, I will say that he's a hero, though. What he's doing takes a hell of a lot of bravery that I don't know that I would have enough to be able to go to work in the ISB headquarters, knowing my head is full of Rebel secrets. And if anyone got a whiff of it, like, you don't just die, you die badly. And everyone that you love dies too. Like, yeah, I think everyone's on the chopping block tonight. Luthen, really wouldn't be surprised if he died tonight. Clea, I really hope she makes it at least to the final arc. But like, if Luthen goes down, she's like the next one on the list because there's so many things linking the two of them together. If they find the shop, they're both going down, you know? Like Cassian Andor and Mon Mothma are pretty much the only ones confirmed to survive this damn thing. Well, I guess Bail Organa as well. But like, I don't know. I talk about this all the time on the podcast with Bendu that like audiences, like modern TV audiences, kind of got traumatized with Game of Thrones. And like now we kind of anticipate death around every corner, especially with like minor characters and side characters. Like after the Red Wedding, like everyone kind of watched shows differently, kind of just like bracing for it instead of like being secure and then getting blindsided by it. And I think that if this show had been made before Game of Thrones came out, or if there was no Game of Thrones, I think that my expectations of death might be a little bit different, you know? But I'm expecting a bloodbath, honestly. I'm expecting, because Rogue One was a bloodbath too. Like they did not pull any punches. And when it got to the third act, people just started dropping. Like it was crazy. Okay. Well, I missed seeing Clea in the trailer on Yavin, but that's good to know. Like and hopefully we're not going to really get Yavin until the final arc, which confirms that she's making it out of this. And I don't think that she's going to Gorman, but I think that she's going to run into like Imperial trouble on Coruscant. Because I think the web's going to break down. Someone's going to end up being a weak link. Someone's going to talk. Maybe Davos Skulden is actually like we thought that we dealt with him by getting the bug back. What if there's another bug that they missed or something, you know, and he finds out in another way and like calls the cops or something like that. Also, if Mon Mothma is fleeing, that means we're going to get hopefully going to get a final scene with Perrin and Lita and see like the absolute state that she leaves things with her family members. Cause she does not take them with her. She goes to Yavin 4 solo. Like, so she kind of ditches them to leave. And like, now they are the family of like a traitorous senator who's on the run. So they're not going to be treated well by the Empire. And she has to know that. So potentially we could get like a really emotional scene there. And I'm looking forward to it if that's the case, but I'm also kind of nervous because like, I don't know, like we all hated Perrin in season 1. He was like a total like deadbeat husband, turning the daughter against, like we saw all these moments where they were just like at each other's throats. And I don't think we were supposed to like him, but like it in season 2, I feel like they've really humanized the relationship between the two of them a bit more. And I think that like combining with the speech that he made at the wedding, which was another fantastic monologue, by the way, shout out to the actor. But like when Mon Mothma was crashing out at the wedding and like just going really hard with the dancing, he fully noticed that something was wrong. And he didn't just look like worried about his meal ticket. He looked like he was like there was human concern there for his partner. And so I kind of feel bad for him now. It's like, man, he just wanted to like drink his stupid champagne and like pal around with like the rich and famous. But like he's gonna have a terrible existence once the dust settles and once Mon Mothma's gone. It's all the blame's gonna go on him. And she managed to pin the money laundering on him and his gambling problem too. So like he's fully gonna get hung out to dry. And and at season 1, I would have been like, yeah, good. Screw that guy. He sucks. But now that they've humanized him a little bit, I'm like, God damn it. Why sorry about this, Perrin. Like, maybe you didn't deserve it this badly. But we'll see. We'll see if we even cover the family fallout. It might be all about Mon after the wedding. Like we might not even see them anymore. Hopefully we do get that resolution because it's something that has been like building and building in terms of tension since season 1. Like the more we learn about her family, the more like that decision starts hanging in the future that like, oh yeah, she's going to have to leave them behind eventually. Like what's the state of that relationship going to look like the final time they interact, you know, the last time they see each other. Is he going to be happy? Is he going to be angry? Is she going to have to be there when he gets arrested? Like, no, I'm sure that they will give us at least a little bit about it, because that's honestly, it's one of the things that I found the most compelling. And I never thought that would be my opinion, is that like Mon Mothma's family drama. It's like, it's up there. It's up there for me. It's just as exciting as Saw Gerrera huffing jet fuel. What a sentence. Oh man. I see a bunch of new people who joined the Hype Chamber. Hello there. Welcome, guys. We are just over 10 minutes out until the new episodes are here. I don't know how ready we are, but because you've just joined me, I will play this silly clip one more time.
What are you breathing from that mask?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I hope so. Like as an altruist, I hope that he makes it out, but I don't see how, because Mon Mothma is barely making it out of this one with all of the resources of the Rebel Alliance pulling together to try and get her out of there. Like, Perrin's got money, but he doesn't have any such network of like people that are willing to help him and aid him. And money will only get you so far. Plus, I feel like even the highest paying mercenaries are going to turn tail when like the Emperor sends like his top unit after you, you know? No private firm at this time in the galaxy is willing to risk that kind of imperial ire. So like, I don't know that his credits are going to get him anywhere. I think he's going down for this, because you know that someone is going down for this. That's how fascist governments always work. They have to hang someone out to dry. They have to have a scapegoat, someone to pin it on, to show that the problem is fixed, you know? So like, Perrin is going to be made example of, and that's I don't want to see it, man. The whole situation is just uncomfortable. Oh my God. He's just recreationally hitting the CPAP. Oh my God. Word. Honestly though, the guitarist in my band had sleep apnea. Shout out to that guy. Brilliant player, actually. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He's going to be hung out to dry as the mastermind. But I don't think the ISB will fully buy it, because they're going to take one look at Perrin and be like, this guy is no mastermind. He doesn't know anything. But they don't care, because politically they just need someone to blame it on. Yes, we do. That's how we've been doing it for the last couple weeks. We're just going to sit down and power through all 3 episodes, because honestly, like, it works better that way. Just like, you want to get the momentum and you catch more details when it's fresh. But sometimes our schedules don't allow for it, and so we'll watch like the first 2, and then like the next morning we'll watch the 3rd one, or you know, something like that. But we're planning to watch all 3 of them tonight. So exactly. Well, it is and it isn't, because sometimes that means you're up until like 3 in the morning. And like, the one thing I hate more than anything is being sleepy during a reaction, because I feel like that's really disrespectful to the work that you're watching, because a creative will watch that and be like, wow, I'm putting this guy to sleep, you know? And I really don't want to give that impression, like, ever. So it's really important. It's like, if I'm like, okay, I'm going to start feeling sleepy, I'll tell Bendo, like, dude, let's pick this up in the morning, because I don't want to be falling asleep on the camera. You know, I feel like that's very disrespectful to the people that work very hard to make these things. Honestly, I'm all for it. I'm all for the second Bail Organa. The only problem with it for me is that Benjamin Bratt is such a good actor that he would have absolutely killed his own original Star Wars character. You know, like, we could have really added something big to the universe by bringing him in with another role. And now he's just going to be like Bail number 2. So like, if anyone had to pick up the mantle, though, he's like clearly very capable. Like, dude's a great actor. And I think he's going to do great in the next arc here, because we're going to see a lot more Bail. I also think that it was clever of Tony Gilroy to like give us that small scene there, so that we could get this exact conversation out of the way before tonight's arc, because clearly he's going to be putting the work in, and we're going to have a lot to discuss. And this way we won't get down in the weeds about recast versus non-recast. And personally, I'm all for it. I think it's a great idea. I prefer it to like the weird deepfake AI stuff. That just like doesn't do it for me. Like, it's impressive on a technical level, and I usually have pretty strong first-time reactions to seeing that, because your brain is still seeing what your brain is still seeing, right? Like, that's still Luke Skywalker. I'm going to freak out. But when I rewatch those scenes, there's something like, I don't know, something's missing. There's definitely something that feels like hollow's not the right word, but I just prefer recasts. I just prefer like a really authentic human performance every time. Hello there. How's it going, guys? I hope you're ready to watch Andor. Well, are you all three of you watching Andor? It's a bit grown up, but you know what? That's cool too, though. I think you can never be too young to learn about the galaxy around you. Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. I think that my money would be on Gold Leader, Dutch Vander, since he is both in Rogue One and the episode of Rebels that everyone's referring to. Like, even if we lead continuously right up to it, I don't think we're going to see the ghost, because that wasn't even the beginning of the episode. That was like a third of the way through the episode when they finally reached them. So more likely we're going to see them. We're going to see Cassian, maybe even Luthen, handing Mon Mothma off to Dutch Vander and Gold Squadron, and they're going to pull her into a Y-wing, and the three of them are going to take off. And those of us that know are going to know exactly where they're headed. But I don't know that we'll see the ghost. We might even hear him say, like, all right, tell General Syndulla we're on the way, or something like that. But yeah, if I had to draw anyone to appear on the screen, I would say Dutch Vander is pretty smart guess. Oh my God, 8 minutes. I'm so ready too. I am and I'm not. I am and I'm not. I don't think I'll ever be like fully ready and pumped to see people get like massacred. Like that's messed up, but no, we're getting there. And whether we like it or not, this is about to happen to us. So I'm just making my peace with it. This is where the fun begins. Well, kind of. Oh yeah, no, I got like any good Imperial citizen, I've got the posters up in case anyone sees any rebels. Call the ISB, and or actually don't, because screw those guys. Right, she and Erskine are in a transport that's flanked by Gold Squadron and the Y-wings. That's how they actually leave. So hopefully we will see those Y-wings, although they could even meet up with them in orbit after the episode's over. We might just see the transport taking off, which would be a disappointment. But again, like, I don't want to like create false expectations for myself here. I'm just speculating, and I think that Gold Leader has like double connectivity there because Rogue One and Rebels, you know. Melshi's got to come back into the fold. Is it going to be this week or is it going to be next week? I feel like they could grab Melshi once they're starting to establish their military, because like it'd be a hell of a time for Melshi to show up in the middle of the Gorman massacre. Like, God, that guy can't catch a break. Like, we only ever meet him during like these tragic events in history. God, poor guy. So hopefully at least during this, he's on a beach in Yamos somewhere. And then next week we can catch up with him and he can join it. Because I wouldn't wish the Gorman arc on that man. He's been through enough. Well, thank you very much. That answers my question. Nice. 4 helmets is great. Grievous would be happy with that because he could hold one in each hand, and like, probably don't want to spin them around though, because they can be kind of delicate. All right, we got 5 minutes left. Last minute predictions here. Any thoughts of introductions of K2SO tonight? End of episode 9 is my guest, and all of next week. That's a pretty solid guess. I was going to guess the final arc is when we meet him, but like the end of this arc would be kind of a cool way to. But the problem with that is that then we have to skip over them getting to know each other, their first meeting, and then the next arc will be a year later. Like, I want to see their friendship form. I want to see that working relationship like take shape instead of just having to dive a whole year forward. Hold on. Getting to see the first squad of Pathfinders would be cool. I speculated in the trailer that we were going to get the Pathfinders, and then it turned into the goddamn Maya Pei Brigade, which could not be farther from a well-oiled unit of rebels. Like, not at all. Did you know that wasn't me? I like the theory that B2 Emo's mind is going to get put into K2SO's body. I don't think their personality is super lined up, but I could see it. If you gave B2 Emo like a giant KX body, all of a sudden he could become more confident. K2SO would be weird with a stutter, though. Sorry, my ring cam is going crazy. Give me a second. Cool. Yeah, well, it means B2 gets an upgrade, because that's the thing, is that like droids only die in certain circumstances. They can almost always come back in some way, shape, or form. I will. You as well. You as well. Oh my goodness, we're 3 minutes away. I got to get ready here. Mentally, I mean, you know. I'm telling you, they're not brave enough to put it in the episode because they're cowards, but we should see him get rescued by Scuba Stev from Jedi Survivor, because he can't swim, and then he gets pulled out on the fishing line, and then we can hear about it in like a 45-minute rambling story told in the next Jedi game. But they're not brave enough to actually do that on screen. They wouldn't do it, even though that's clearly the move. That's what they should be doing. I know, right? Literally on the ring cam, they're just like standing there. I'm just going to pretend I'm not home, and maybe the ISB will go away. I think so. I don't think that he's ever going to live enough to see the rebellion become an organized military, like a militia. I think that he's going to die before we get to that point. And he said as much, that he knows that's true during his monologue, you know? So I'm not sure that he's going to survive tonight. It's for me, like, it's never been a question of will he die. It's been a question of when he dies, how many is he going to take with him? You know, like, he's going to go out with a bang. That's all I know. We won't see the Emperor. We won't see Darth Vader. It's been pretty much confirmed that that's the case. Well, what he said is he doesn't want to write for either of those characters. So I guess if one of those characters stood in a room and didn't have any dialogue, technically, like the Emperor, a hologram could show up of the Emperor, but I don't see him going out of his way to create parts to include them, you know? Bix is the one that I'm really hoping actually survives this whole show, because A, she's been through enough, and B, she's the only character that I think it could realistically make sense that she wouldn't be actively involved in the events of A New Hope and Rogue One, if it was at all possible for her to do so, you know? She's not content with just hiding. Like she told Cassian, like, if Luthen had asked, I would have gone, like, immediately, no hesitation. She's fully in it. So why wasn't she there in Rogue One? You know, why wasn't she part of it anymore? Hopefully the answer to that is because she's like, she walks away from it all and like finds a peaceful planet and is living in secret somewhere. Like, that's what I want for her. I could totally like see that being possible, that she's doing that during Rogue One and not just like, but she could still die. I'm prepared for her to die, but I really hope that she's like the one that makes it out. And a lot of people are saying that she needs to fully die for Cassian to like completely assume the role of like completely bitter, jaded, has nothing left, willing to die for his cause. But like, I feel like he's already there, man. I feel like he's willing to leave Bix behind on Scarif with his like. It's not like there's no one for him to come home to. Like, he's making that sacrifice because Bix is still out there somewhere, and that's what he's sacrificing. Like, it works either way. That's all I'm saying. Oh my goodness, it's here. It's here. It's time to go. This is not a drill. I will see you guys on the other side. I'm going to hit that trailer one more time and go get ready. Oh boy, strap in. We got some crazy episodes tonight. I'm going to stop talking, and I'll see you guys soon. May the Force be with you.
I came with you to be part of something. The Empire cannot win. It's a different kind of mission. If it goes up in flames, it will burn very brightly.
But if I'm giving up everything, I want to win. We have to. We must stand together. We will be crushed.
Resistance is absurd.
It's a weapon.
They're building a weapon.
The monster will come for us all.
Revolution is not for the saying. You're right here, and you're ready to fight.
There's a future here for those who dare.
Welcome to the rebellion.